So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in the snow? Who's that kid that can use one?
Tony.
I got a super
C3
chat real quick.
link. Well, at least Tom Brady is going home a loser. When you have decent corners, you can control that Tampa Bay team relatively easily, unlike our situation. Coaching search is still hot and heavy, but it seems like Wilt's still in it pretty well because they keep asking about looking for OCs and DCs as well. Because apparently Al Holcomb will be the DC if Wilt gets it, which I understand that he's his boy, but I wonder if he can get a better one. I doubt it. We'll have to see, but definitely get an OC. I'm not seeing any other candidates stand up besides the Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, but his offense didn't even get to the playoffs. I'm sorry. I would only recruit offensive coordinators whose offense got them to the playoffs. I mean, we destroyed that offense with our team. That's my opinion. If my defense beats your offense, are you that good of an OC? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I like head-to-head. We'll have to see. But look forward to watching the video today, and we'll go from there. I don't know which team I'm pulling for in the rounds. Probably the Jags and the Cowboys. So we'll see. Take care, guys, and keep pounding.
Thank you for the call, AU Link. And is AU Link from Down Under? No,
I don't know.
no. Who's your boy from?
No, he's the Auburn. He's the Auburn guy. AU is
somebody
Auburn
said in the
University.
chat this, and I like how he said LOL at the point. He said he didn't. He said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Is there really? I want to parse out. Let's do a logic, and not right now, and we're not going to do it as in discussion, but you can do it in the chat. What is the logical difference between every shot not taken? If we I took symbolic logic in college, and so you would take this phrase and you would turn it into a math equation. Every shot not taken is a goal not scored, and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm gonna email this to one of my old philosophy professors. They would fucking go nuts and be
what's
like,
the question you're asking? Because I think it's pretty simple.
But they're both the same thing.
I think they're both the
are
exact
they
same
truly
thing.
the same?
Yeah, I
Are
think
they
they are.
truly logically?
Dude, you don't need a
contingently the
philosophy
same?
major to tell you that.
You're thinking too deep about it. Yeah, I agree with Cody.
No, I mean, there's logical.
It's basically if
so
you don't
every
take a chance,
bachelor
there's no
is
way
an
to win.
unmarried. All right, okay. Look, just go this, kids. Go Google a priori truth. Logical, by definition, is a priori truth. So that's a big philosophy term. Anyway,
sometimes
I understand.
You have to take,
is there?
And this is what you've been saying too, Tony. Sometimes you have to take a chance, and yeah, you might miss when you take that chance, but you also might score a bucket. You never know. You have to swing big, and I think that's what we're talking about. These, draft picks that don't pan out, that just end up, being on the team and then done. Is that more valuable than proven commodities? And I think that we have done it such a long time that we're jaded in the way that we talk about this because we're not used to the Panthers making splashy moves like that. But it's a new era of Panther football. So you should expect it and expect it. So.
All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, C3 is AU Link.
Oh.
Well, at least Tom Brady is going home a loser.
Sorry. That's the same call. Let's go back to the same call, Tony. Here we go. Hopefully.
It's JJ. I'm gonna come on the Friday Fruit Pro with this energy too that I'm about to bring in this call. Cody, Drew, Pickle, C3, y'all's quarterback evaluation skills and word, everything y'all say, revoked. It's
He didn't
meaningless.
like my level.
I was listening to last year's draft podcast,
Oh,
and I couldn't believe the shit I was hearing. Y'all were slobbering, gagging, deep-throating Malik Willis, begging for us to trade back into the first round for his bum ass. I didn't think any of the quarterbacks last year were worth a first-round pick because I didn't think any of them were good or NFL ready. But yet y'all were slobbering over Malik Willis.
yeah, well,
And then
hungry,
this
bro.
year y'all talking about let's upgrade the team and not get a quarterback? I mean, it's really just unbelievable at this point. I mean, I
What have
couldn't
you
even
seen
believe
of him?
it. But yet when there's good quarterbacks in the draft class, y'all just want to draft defensive players.
Who?
It's
No,
cool.
I've
It's
been
cool.
wanting to
It's all
draft a
right.
quarterback
It's
every
whatever.
fucking
We'll
year.
never be
I'm
out of a
cutting this
poverty.
off. I'm cutting this off. And I'm addressing it. I'm cutting it off and I'm addressing it. First of all, go back and watch the year before that when I went nuts when we didn't draft Justin Fields. And he was the number 2 prospect, and then he fell there. We didn't have to trade up. We didn't have to trade anything. I do understand what you're saying, and I do believe, and I get what you're saying is that like there is some a pretty girl walks by and bats her eyes at you in the combine, and all of a sudden I'm over there humping her leg, whether it be Malik Willis or Justin Fields or Zach Wilson or Trey Lance. We can go down the list of people to where Cody was
That you
like
would
that
hump
with
their leg.
Justin Herbert, where, you know what I'm saying? But there are some that you would want to go back and actually hump them. My point being is this, is that you can use the Malik Willis stuff out of context. And I do. And it was not just us. It was also the whole world.
Steelers fans, Detroit
Right.
Lions fans,
Right.
everybody was like that, dude.
Everybody. It's revisionist history, dude.
We don't also need to declare him and completely no. Is anybody out there going Pickett was the worst pick ever?
No.
You know, and the thing is Malik Willis just didn't have any opportunity, right? Like you put him in on a short, so it's like if that's what
His
you're going to judge him
rookie
off
season.
of, and they didn't even play him, right? Because they weren't confident in it. So fine, it might have been wrong. But what have I always told you, Cody? You're either in the land of having a quarterback or you live in the land of you don't have a quarterback. And until we are in the land of we are in the kingdom of having a quarterback, then we're always going to want to live in the kingdom that does have a fucking quarterback. And that's why Malik Willis looked good. It was like being on what was that the movie where they give you hall pass? You ever seen the movie Hall Pass? And the wives go on a girls trip and she jokes around. She's like, you could have a hall pass or whatever. And so they go out the bar and they get tanked. And he's like, oh man, look at that bitch. She fly. And then his friend goes, nope, look at this. And he does the window close.
Yep.
And it's like, well, no wonder. I mean, of course, Malik Willis she was the hottest girl at the fucking party.
And by the way, the same way that we were slobbering over Malik is the same way that he's slobbering over guys like CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, neither of which were going to be in the range to even draft unless you're trading up for them.
Hot take. Again, I like Will Levis better than both of them.
What's the difference between us, going crazy over Malik and other Panther fans going crazy over a quarterback this year? You want a quarterback. Everybody wants the Panthers to have a franchise quarterback. Who knows where it's going to come from? Different ways that they can come from.
Yeah.
But to pretend like we're not evaluating all the ins and outs of every different player, come on.
No, I don't think that's what he was saying. I agree. I understand what he's saying. Look, because I'm not sensitive enough to be mad.
He said I have terrible quarterback evaluation.
Well, he might not be wrong.
bullshit.
do like Matt Corral.
I
Oh,
called
look, you
Josh
get sensitive
Allen.
about it.
I
don't.
called Justin Herbert.
Oh my
I
god.
called Trevor Lawrence. Dude, I got
Weren't
them
all those
quarterbacks
high
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence, get that
candidates,
shit
though.
out of here. You
Hey,
will
can I-
not,
can I
do
ask,
not
weren't
say
all those
Trevino
Heisman Trophy
Lawrence's name
candidates-
on this podcast anymore.
Trevor Lawrence. Say his name
Trevina
right.
sucks, but she sucks
Trevor.
the
All
best pick.
Heisman Trophy candidates. Come on, man. That's low hanging fruit.
No, I think this is, but I do understand. Look, don't be
Actually,
sensitive
no.
about it, Cody.
No.
That's true. You
Don't be
you are way
sensitive
better at
about
this
it.
than I am. I'm not trying to say that. So
Don't be sensitive about it, Cody. Is that I do get what he's saying is that there is the hot name that is a nobody that we're over there chirping. It's like when I worked at this pizza so I worked at this pizza shop when I was through high school and college, and in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was just a different world. It was like, but look, is that they only hired one girl to work at this. They called her the phone girl. They made her clean the lobby, she cleaned the tables, answer the phone. This girl could be the most busted girl in the world. And there was 17 dudes working there. And we would be like, hey, so what are you doing tonight? I mean, nobody's like, but it was just like
being in
people,
prison. Yeah.
it was just like, so I understand what he's saying about Malik Willis is we're just over there gushing over somebody who is below average. I get that. But you can't also say that we haven't been doing that too for people before that. Justin Fields, this and that. And I think that you can cherry pick. And I'm not sensitive. I just don't think people are saying that about Kenny Pickett. And we were talking about Kenny Pickett in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were sitting there I was saying this, pick Kenny Pickett at little baby hands, 2-glove Pickett at number 8.
Okay, I'm already past JJ's phone call.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm already past. So, but two things, because I'm getting some breaking news. CJA, I see you. I got the memo. But super chat by David Screws with the $5 love bomb. It says, "What about Stetson Bennett from Georgia? Nobody's talking about him." Hey, I like Stetson, but that's a conversation.
Yeah. I'm a Georgia fan. Greatest quarterback, greatest college player ever, arguably.
Maybe.
And I need to share something with y'all. Sportsnut on Twitter has brought this to my attention, and it just came out too. So not bringing it up. Could Sean and Tom Brady join forces in Carolina?
No, please.
Oh my! You know what? I don't know if I could cheer for this. To be honest, imagine this.
This is
imagine that,
dude.
Oh my god,
this is an
that's a real
article from
question.
Pro Football Talk. It's an article from Pro Football Talk. It says 4 teams are interested in Peyton: the Broncos, Cardinals, Texans, and Panthers. The first 2 have quarterbacks under massive contracts. The Texans need a lot more than Brady to become competitive. Enter the Panthers. The last to officially join the Peyton chase. Carolina has a very good defense, very good receivers, a solid running game, and an offensive line good enough to make it all go. They have an owner who has been desperate for a great coach and a franchise quarterback. Even though Brady would be a option, he'd fill the stadium and create a ton of excitement. The NFC South is currently not good. The Panthers would instantly become favorites to win the division. They could fatten up their record enough to become one of the top seeds, especially with the schedule rotation, having them face teams of the AFC South and the NFC North in 2023. What do we make of this? I don't even know what to think.
This is a 1-year fix. This is a quick fix trying to win a Super Bowl this year type deal. This is not a build a dynasty franchise type move, period.
Yeah.
I think if this happened, I would have to have, and I think all of us, every person listening to this podcast would have to have some sort of introspection about themselves. No, not a therapy. No, I think you would have to really have. You guys were being mad at me for saying I got to email my philosophy instructor about these statements and how they logically hold. This is an ethics and morality question right here that I don't know. Ultimately, is what this right here first, is Sean Payton in the most punchable face? My friend on Twitter at Salesman says he's been saying this for like 10 years, is that Sean Payton's got the most punchable face.
Yes.
And Tom Brady, arguably, is someone who I learned to respect I came to respect in that 09 when you're talking about that Breeze run where he was so dominant. But when them and like Brady is the GOAT, but at the same time, like I feel like his persona or the respect level or respect meter has gone down. Like it went from the bottom to where he kind of like I begrudgingly had to admit it. And now, like his PR doesn't like it. I wouldn't want to be his PR agent. I think this is that the question is, are you willing to just sell your soul? Right. I mean, I went down to Georgia, right? And I sold. Yeah, the devil went down to Georgia. We sold our soul. Like, how far are you really willing to go? And ultimately, would you be able to get on this podcast next year with Sean Payton and Tom Brady and just say we're all in on these dudes? Like, we like them. We're buying Brady jerseys. We're buying, like, what would we have to do? Like, what stand would we take? I don't know if I feel comfortable. This may be a bridge too far for me.
Two real quick things. I'm not even going to take long. He says, hey, the refs and the NFL scriptwriters would be on our side. Which that's funny and also
what
true.
A great call. What a great.
Yeah, that's perfect. And also, look, whether you love it or hate it, it would be good for the podcast, dude. I think that's undeniable. It's so controversial.
I don't know how I could. I don't know how I could internalize it.
Everybody would love it and hate it at the same time. Go ahead, Greg.
Look, I wouldn't want this, like I said, because it's not a good move for the future moving forward. It's an immediate fix to win a Super Bowl. However, how fucking boss would it be to take Tampa Bay's quarterback and New Orleans coach and beat the shit out of them with it? That's the only thing. That would be fucking cool as hell.
Oh, that actually is a great point.
Coach, you know?
We only hate them because of that is man. It's like really stealing someone's wife and plowing their mom.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
And now you're their son's step.
Here's the thing you've got to with that idea, because I haven't had an opportunity to express my opinion on this. You are literally adding two villains to the roster,
right? With David Tepper, and you got David Tepper who looks like the bad dude from Superman or the guy from Punisher, the bad guy from Punisher.
Like, here's my reasoning. Like, I know we want to see greatness, right? And Tom Brady has thrown for a lot of yards, but he has been far from what he has ever looked like. He has not looked like a Hall of Fame type quarterback this year. Let's be real about it. So number one, let's take that into consideration. Number two, even when Tom Brady this year, and this is why I would be against bringing in anybody, even like an Aaron Rodgers. These two guys have been so highly sought after. As far as people believing these guys are the greatest, like they have been taking everything that they've gotten and put it in their mouth, right? They have just gone as far as they can go with both of these guys. And this year they both have struggled. Both of them have struggled. And their first reaction on the field is to look around and blame everybody else for their failings. And that has been absolutely frustrating to see. Like, I'm not like it gives me a lot of a little bit of joy when I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not winning, or when that happened in Dallas or against the Cowboys. But at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are players too. Like, when you see him walking off and he's like yelling at his teammates because they didn't do exactly what he thought that they should do on a scramble drill. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, these guys have been playing bad and they have been looking to their team to blame for the poor play that they've had on the field. And you can't put these guys on this team. Like, you just can't, especially a team that is just like, especially if we don't go with Steve Wilkes, this team is going to be a bit fractured. You can't put a guy on here who's going to make it even more fractured.
We got to get rid of the keep pounding moniker then. If we have David Tepper, Sean Payton, and Tom Brady, you know what? We're just gonna start cheating. We're gonna start marking the
Keep
deck.
selling your soul.
Yeah, I mean, I just go all in at that and just be like, "Hey, I got some beachfront property for you in Florida."
The reason why I agree with CK is basically just because of the level of drop off in Tom Brady's play. Like if you watched him, there's times when he's just missing. And I don't know if you want to say that,
but he's still been. He threw
he's
67 times yesterday, dude. Like,
Yeah,
as that
but,
he should. He is not as bad as you. Like, he would not save a team, but he
No.
also shouldn't
No.
have to play that way anymore. So he is better than half of the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He might not be in the top 8, but he's definitely in the top 15.
Right.
Still,
You
I
shouldn't have
just
to
think
play-
that combining the two forces of negativity is a lot, except for when Greg says we could actually. How can we fuck the Falcons over in this? Like,
We
what
have
can
to
we
get
do?
up,
Can we just like
Algier.
take somebody
We need
from them
Algier.
too?
Yeah. Or what's the wide receiver that got suspended this year that didn't play for him? That was
Oh,
so
that's
good?
they got
He
traded to the
got-
Jags.
He's in
Yeah.
Oh
Jacksonville.
shit. Oh, never mind.
Oh, dude,
I
that's
don't
gonna
know.
be crazy when he comes back next year.
Maybe
Think about that,
Matt
guys.
Ryan could come and be Tom Brady's backup for free.
Oh
and
no,
not take
Julio
a
Jones.
paycheck and
Julio
then-
Jones comes with him.
But look, here's the
Okay.
thing, Tony, is I get what you're saying. You're right. Like, realistically, he's not one of the top quarterbacks. But the thing is, everybody still looks at him as one of the top guys. And
You
he's
can
not
win with
that.
him. You can
He's
still
not-
win with
maybe-
Tom Brady.
Maybe. Let me ask you something. Actually, now that you say that, I want to bring up Tom Brady's stats this year and see if they're comparable to, say, Sam Darnold's.
He's
They're
far more
head- Dude, he
way more
threw
yards.
like 9 million
Yards, far more yards. Does he have more touchdowns? Does he have?
He's
more
got
points
more
scored?
wins.
Yeah, they've been throwing the ball a lot
one
more. You gotta.
win.
Can we
Like,
go to the
can't
next
really say a
call
whole
while
lot.
you
One
do
more
it?
win.
Let's
Yeah.
go to the next call while you do it. Numbers 252-228-5098.
Podcast brothers, how y'all doing? It's G Kavasi.
What up, G?
Hey man, we got permission to talk to Sean Payton, man. Hey man, I'm telling y'all like this: the Saints are gonna want a first round pick, man. I swear they're gonna want that shit, man. And to me, hey, I would love them to come to Carolina, man. And all that, coaches don't in the same division, they don't go to other teams. That's bullshit. Because take it back to the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a senior in high school, man, Bill Parcells, man, left the Jets and went to the damn Patriots and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That was in the 90s. I remember that shit. So it's possible, but giving up the first round, I don't know, man. Then I keep seeing shit on the internet talking about Chicago will give up the first to get the damn for our number 9 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that shit at all. I mean, give me y'all take on that. Keep pounding, y'all.
All right, man. Thank you,
Pounding, G.
Yeah, we've complicated that discussion by somehow throwing this stupid pro football talk. How about that? Whoever wrote this for pro football talk, kudos to them.
Oh yeah, it's a very good clickbait option.
I guarantee you it was
or
Mike
discussion
Florio.
bait in a way.
It was Mike
I
Florio.
guarantee you
is,
it
no,
was Mike Florio.
And he probably got some intern to do it. You think he just sat down and wrote that? Okay. That's awesome. I'm giving him credit. Like, y'all hate most of y'all listening hate David Newton. I love him. Right there. I think that is an incredible story. It put me in a dark place. It put me in an uncomfortable land.
What do you mean?
I don't know how would you talk to your children and explain it to them? I feel like it would, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're walking by a complete, it's like walking past a factory that's a sweatshop.
Dude. You're all being too sensitive. I don't want it to happen.
No, Sean Payton, no problem. But you added Tom Brady. It made me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
I don't want it to happen.
It was like this: I was cheating on my wife with this girl, but all of a sudden her husband climbed in the bed. Now I just got uncomfortable.
That's pretty uncomfortable
Dude,
before.
how about I do not want Tom Brady to be a part of this team, but listen, if the Panthers become the bad guys, whatever, dude, who gives a shit? It's only for
But
a
we've
season
hung
or
our
two.
hat on this moral We've tried for so long
Oh,
to be
don't be
this
such a
keep
Boy
pounding. This,
We're not Boy Scouts. Come on.
Can I point out something? Because I'm sitting here looking at. The
I feel
Tom
like we
Brady and
have
Sam-
tried to do that. Our heroes, Thomas Davis.
Superman,
Yeah,
Captain America,
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, we're good. We're a force of good. We are not.
Embrace
In
the
fact,
dark
I've said
side,
this
baby.
about the Saints. I've said they are just evil. I don't know if at what point do you join the dark side?
Right.
No, I mean,
He's
are
not a part
you-
of the dark side anymore.
No, you should always
He's
be
on
on
the-
part
he
of the
would
dark
be
side,
on
just
the
so you know
blue
that.
So
side.
Darth Vader became good.
He did in the end. Yes.
No, he
Hey,
did not.
He
did.
did. He ended up saving the whole thing at the end. Watch Return of the Jedi, one of the best movies ever. He ended up being good.
He saved Luke's life.
Don't
Oh,
argue with me
because
about
he
this.
killed the Emperor?
Hey, real quick, I'm just averaging out Sam Darnold's stats. Okay, so Sam Darnold played 6 games. Tom Brady played 18. So I'm just taking Sam Darnold's average and I'm multiplying it by 3 for 6 games. That'll give me 18 games to give me what Tom. If you average that out, Sam Darnold has 1,000 less yards than Tom Brady, but only 4 less touchdowns, the same amount of interceptions, and 1 less win. So
guess
basically,
what? Tom
Sam
Brady's
Darnold played
still
as good as
5
Tom
spots
Brady.
ahead.
Sam Darnold's better than Tom Brady.
Basically, Sam
Okay.
Darnold as good as Tom Brady this
Oh.
year. I'm just saying.
Greg just got hired by the IRS. That's what you just did. You're like,
Like,
totally.
Sam Darnold,
There's
Tom
only
Brady,
one
same
way
guy.
we can fight these bitches. All right, let's go to Anthony and Charlotte.
Yo, 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 yo. What it do, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. You already know. Just got back from Jacksonville. That was an awesome experience. I saw the Chargers-Jaguars game. That game was fucking lit, man. That was probably my favorite game I've ever seen other than a Panthers game. And I'm going to get right into it, man. Sean Payton. I've been thinking about this, man. You need to get him. And I don't care that you trade that first. Even though our first-round picks have been great, they have not been game changers. They have not been Pat Mahomes. They have not been Josh Allen. They have not been Justin Herbert. Trade a first and trade a third in New Orleans. They have so many holes. I'm telling you right now, man, Sean Payton will immediately change our team. And also this, he will attract a good quarterback to come here. You don't know about the speculation yet, but even Sean Payton with Derek Carr, man, that would be a nice combination. I don't know what Panthers fans, what their expectations are, but I'm telling you right now, Wilkes isn't going to be the coach. He's just not. Like that. It's as simple as that. It's not realistic. He's not going to be the coach. And it's not because I hate Wilkes. It's just because this is how the league goes. I've already brought up multiple examples, mainly the example about how Rich Bisaccia brought that team all the way to the playoffs and didn't even get the job the next season. He got a job as a special teams coordinator. I'm telling y'all, man, I am telling you, Sean Payton is going to blow away David Tepper in the meeting on Friday in New York. And guess what? Everyone says, oh, well, it's not easy to blow away David Tepper. Yeah, well, it's good that a good coach is going to blow away David Tepper because then he actually has all the right ammunition to make the right fucking move. I know I'm sounding like this, but Panther fans have been on my ass all day calling me crazy about, well, we don't want to trade this, we don't want to trade that. It's like, do something different. We have to do something different. Eventually, this division is going to be terrible. We have to do something different. We have to get the head coach. The head coach attracts good quarterbacks. The head coach attracts good free agents. Sean Payton was the one that found Drew Brees when he tore his shoulder and thought he was never going to be able to play football again. If Drew Brees was so good, the Chargers would have retained him over Phillip Rivers. That's what I got to say, and I got a part 2 coming, so get ready, C3. It's going down. Anthony from Charlotte, let's go.
Anthony.
Let's comment on this. You guys comment quickly on his first part.
Okay.
Then we'll go to part 2.
Before he gets to part 2, they got rid of Drew Brees because they had Phillip Rivers, who was, by the way, another Hall of Fame quarterback, possibly first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback.
He's a bump. Fuck that
bullshit. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback.
He's not
he
better
is
than
not
Drew
even
Brees,
close. He's not even
Yeah,
close.
I'm
to
not saying
first
he's better than
ballot.
Drew Brees. No, I'm not saying that.
He's not.
But there's a
first
good
ballot.
chance he'll make the first ballot, probably
No.
second ballot, though. You're right. Probably second. Either way, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Second of all, let me ask you, if you're going to trade away your first round pick,
ever heard.
you're going to trade away your first round pick for Sean Payton, what are you doing in the future? Like, what's the next move? Are you moving forward Sam Darnold, Matt Corral?
Not drafted Vernon Butler.
Like
Matt
what's
Corral,
the move?
baby.
Like if you get Sean Payton, you are severely limiting yourself to what you can do in the future. So what
Take
is
a
Sean
car
Payton
or
gonna do
whatever
with his
car.
team?
I bet you he could take
It's
car.
too
Him and car would
severe.
be
It's
dope.
not that severe.
Dude, y'all
Y'all
him
act
and
like we're
Carr,
I
trading
think that coaches
every
can all of a
pick.
sudden make players all-star players.
These whatever pick we would give up, if we give up next round pick, that's not nothing. First rounds come and go,
So
and we're
if we
back
give
to
up
having
the
another
ninth
first round pick the
this
year
year in the
after.
draft, if we give up the 9th pick this year in the draft for Sean Payton, you're cool with that?
No, not this year, but I don't think that's what they're
You know
going to do.
what?
I think
Is-
they're
you
going to
know
do
what?
a
I don't even
future
give a
pick.
shit at this point.
Hey, 2 super chats real quick. White chocolate espresso with the $2 is a guy who put a bounty on Cam. No, he didn't put a bounty on Cam. That was 2019
That
or
was all players.
2009 that bounty gate happened. Cam wasn't a part of it. That fight me on that. Cam was not a part of that. White chocolate espresso also says, "Will y'all love Sean Payton? Sean, after Taysom gets that one, he's just trolling. No one's gonna fucking."
I
trade
think
for
a
Taysom,
more
though.
compelling argument to me against Sean Payton and any of this is less about the draft picks and more about the ethics of the move. Like, I think if you really want to talk me out of it, you should really kind of talk me out of it based on the fact that I want to win with be a positive force of good, not buy. You know what I'm saying? I don't sell my soul. Like, at what point? I think, and the Tom Brady question really just put me on this, guys. Like, I mean, with just Sean Payton, I can get past it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But both to go, oh my god!
Right.
Like, at some point, I feel like it's the difference between killing somebody and killing a kid.
Right. I think that if you're gonna sign Sean Payton for if he's gonna be here for the next 10 years, then okay, I can understand that. But if you're signing
care if
Sean
we
Payton
get
and Tom
5
Brady
years.
right now, then I want to ask all the Saints fans and all the Tampa Bay fans how they feel right now, because they traded their soul for this a few years ago, and where are they at right now?
Who?
Well, basically Tampa Bay fans. You had
They
1
got a
year of
Super Bowl.
success and 2 years of kind of failure.
We've never had a Super Bowl. Think
They've been
about
in
this.
the
Actually, here's
every
a question.
year.
Here's another way of
20 years
rephrasing.
than
No.
90%.
How about
They
this?
were in
How about this?
they were in the NFC Championship last year, Greg.
Who?
No, they weren't.
The Tampa Bay
The
Buccaneers
Tampa Bay
weren't.
Buccaneers?
They got bumped in the first round last year.
Let me ask you this. Would you
That wasn't the
rather
first
be?
round.
Let
That
me
was the
ask
first
you. No,
round
just
last year they
simply.
got
This is a
bumped.
great question, Greg. I mean, it's a good question. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been the Tampa Bay Succaneers for 20 out of the last 22 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it that. They've won a
But
Super
in
Bowl in the last 20
those
years.
22 years,
They've won a Super Bowl.
they
in the last
won
20 years.
2 Super Bowls.
But they
Won. No, they did
includes,
the Gruden. No, they traded for Gruden. And they got Rich Gannon. They got that one with Warren Sapp. That was either 90. I think it was 2000.
It was right.
I
around that
really
time, yeah.
think it was 2000. But even if, I'm pretty sure
It was right
in
before Brady took
our
over.
era.
Yeah.
It was not the 90s.
No,
But
it was
what I'm
right before
saying
Brady
is
took
this:
over, yeah.
would you rather be a team that has 2 Super Bowls? How perfect is that? They sold their soul for a Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl. Would you rather have 2 Super Bowls bookended by 18 years of suckiness, or have no Super Bowls where the bookshelf is filled with okay? But I don't want to hear the argument is like, would you just do that for this? The answer is yes.
Tony,
The answer is yes. If it's a Super Bowl appearance, it's worth it.
Tony,
If it's a Super Bowl, it's totally worth it. Would you
And a
rather
victory,
be?
no less?
What
Can I
would
tell
one
you, though?
Super Bowl and 8 years of losing be better than 8 years of mediocrity and no Super Bowl for you as a fan, Greg?
Can I bring this up for you real quick though? While you ask me that question, this factors into it. In the last 20 years, the Patriots have gone to Super Bowl. Well, it says won 5 times. This is wins. Giants twice, Steelers twice, Bucks twice. Everybody else once. Carolina's been twice. Okay, so we're going down this list. Carolina's in the top 15 or top 20% of the NFL for making the Super Bowl in the last 20 years. There's only been a few teams to make it 2 times in the last 20 years. We haven't won one, but whatever you want to say about Carolina,
would you rather be a Bills fan?
2 times in the last 20 years.
Would you rather be a Bills fan or a Bucks fan?
Right now?
No. Historically, because you could say they went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and lost it. Would you rather be the Buccaneers who won 1 Super Bowl in 2000 or be the Bills who went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row? So I understand that, yes, we have been a success. My question is this. I don't know my answer to it, Greg, so I'm not convicted enough to tell you how I exactly feel on this. My question, though, to the listeners and to you guys a little bit, and it's rhetorical. We don't have to overly discuss it, but would you rather, like, is us 1 Super Bowl, like, would you, if we said this, is I could promise you a Super Bowl in the next 4 years, 1 Super Bowl, but then the next 18 years of your football career or football organization would be mediocre to poor? Or would you rather have better than average and no Super Bowls as a fan? And I don't know. I think that's a hard question.
You had
It's
not hard at all.
What would you give for
it's
one
not even kind of hard.
Super Bowl?
You do it. I agree with Anthony in the chat. If you have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, that's all that matters, man. You're trying to win the whole thing.
Don't you think Dan Marino would say that?
Yeah,
Don't you think Dan Marino would say that? I think John Elway would say that because you know what? He didn't get one till the end. It's just so hard.
Right.
If you would have been, to win. Just remember this podcast in 2015, and you guys were all fans in 2015. Mm-hmm. We felt like we would be back.
Yeah.
I was sitting here going, Dave Gettleman for president. Dave Gettleman for president, this and that. It just felt like this. We might not be back in the Super Bowl, but I thought like it symbolized maybe what the Chiefs are in right now. And that is always around, always there. The Patriots now. It was the Patriots then, but now it's the Chiefs. Now it's maybe the Bills, maybe the 40. Like, I thought we would always be in the conversation, and we went from that to not even close. So I'm just saying maybe it's just better to win the lottery once than to win a couple of 10,000 scratch-offs.
White chocolate espresso raises the best point. So Peyton guarantees us a Super Bowl?
Because
that's the thing. We're talking about winning Super Bowls here. So like, does one of these signings, Peyton or Brady,
well, I don't know if anything guarantees you a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So then what does that matter? You know what guarantees you to not win the lottery? Not buying a lottery ticket.
I agree with you with that. But the thing is, we still have a head coach and a quarterback. So we're not buying a lottery ticket.
Hey, man.
Okay, let's just get, let's bring back Matt Rule and keep our first round picks instead of having Sean Payton.
That's not what we're saying. This is not what we're saying.
Who
We're not
do you
saying
want
bring back
instead,
Matt Rule. Matt Rule was
instead.
Honestly, here's the thing. You're sitting here. We're gonna miss 100% of the shots we don't take, right?
No.
Well, guess what?
Oh, hold on. Michael Davis. Michael Davis. I need to say this. He says, so you want to be the Bills from the 91, 94? No, that's what I'm saying. Is would you rather be the people who never won a Super Bowl, were always close, or be the person who won a Super Bowl and didn't get back there for a long time? All right, CK, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
I can't remember what we were talking about. I got lost there with what you were saying.
I know. I don't know, Chad. Whatever. No, I'm sorry. I'm angry.
Worth trading for as a coach.
I said this. I said that is. Would you rather keep Matt Rule and
No,
keep
yeah,
your
so-
furs.
We're
So
talking
you-
being guaranteed.
Let's
argument-
never mention that name again.
Hold on. The argument of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, guess what? You would be saying that same shit if we wanted to take Ben Johnson, right? And people were saying we don't want to take Ben. If you were a really big fan of Ben Johnson and people said I'm not interested in big Ben Johnson, you'd be like, well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, it's because you like the guy. You want him to be your just because we want a different guy to be our head coach doesn't mean we're not taking a shot. It means that we're taking probably a more an equally risky shot with somebody else who isn't a rival of
Perhaps
the Panthers.
more risky.
Potentially, but possibly not.
Is
right?
it more risky? You know. Oh, okay.
But
You
my
don't think
point.
so?
Potentially, you never know. I mean, you don't know what Sean Payton's going to do on our team.
Write
You don't know
this
what he's
down.
capable of doing. Everything's a risk here. But at the end of the day, my thoughts are we can trade away draft capital to make it happen. On top of getting a guy who we have hated for the past 10 years, who has disrespected the Panthers in every chance he's ever fucking gotten. That's what you guys are forgetting. He has disrespected the Panthers every chance he's ever had to disrespect the Panthers. And you guys want him on our squad. I know you're sitting here saying, well, a Super Bowl changes that. You're not going to guarantee a Super Bowl first and foremost with him coming to the team. History proves that. Regardless of how good his team is, you cannot promise me he's going to get you to the Super Bowl. Second, you're giving away draft capital to do that. Third is if we trade all this shit for Sean Payton, and then one of these other guys that were on the list of candidates goes and wins multiple Super Bowls, we've already fucking lost.
Agreed.
I have two things.
However,
Write
that
this
is
down.
the case.
Go ahead, read it.
Anthony Picarillo with the $5 says we have never won. I just want one Super Bowl so I can get drunk and cry. Anthony,
Oh, don't worry. You get drunk
every
and
Super
cry
Bowl
all
we've
the
been
time.
to.
Every Tuesday.
Yeah, I've drunk
Don't
and
worry.
cried. I've gotten drunk
I'm
and cried.
drunk
every
and
Super Bowl
crying
we've
right
been
now.
at. Yeah. I want to get drunk and be happy. Yeah.
I have to. Well, are you done with the super chats yet?
Yeah.
Okay, here, Cody. Write this. I wrote it down. Here's a debate my take. We don't have to do it. What is a greater risk? An unknown coach in Ben Johnson, Ken Dorsey, right? You pick your name, whoever, and keeping your first round pick, or Sean Payton and not having a first round pick. Because the people who have been arguing against us with the Sean Payton acquisition have talked about the risk and reward and have continued to revisit that first round pick. Is it not a greater potential risk to take an unknown head coach and just a unknown player at first in the first round?
No.
Would you just get okay?
So let me ask you this, Tony.
I think that's a greater risk than taking Sean Payton with no first round pick.
Let me ask you this, Tony. If we have Sean Payton this year, and who was our first round pick this year?
This past year?
This past year.
Who was our first round? Icky.
Icky. If we have Sean
Our-
Payton and no Icky, do we finish the same way we did?
Man, probably maybe better.
You think so? With no left tackle and a coach that can have a half-ass quarterback, you think that we finish better than we did?
Yeah, I think this is that. I think Sean Payton could have at least copped 6 wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
yeah,
I know. No, man. Like,
guess
yeah,
so.
I think he could have done equivalent with no Icky.
So if you can do equivalent with no Icky, why wouldn't you take Icky and the coach you've got and just stick with what you got? Why move?
Why wouldn't you just wait one more year and give? Okay.
Why make a lateral move? Is what I'm saying.
It's not lateral. That's my point.
It is lateral if you get the same result.
Anthony with another $2 says, is his first round pick. Ice up fans.
All right. It is one first round pick. He's basically making the assumption that it's only going to be one first round pick for the Panthers, who are a rival of the Saints. The Saints know how good of a coach he can be. And you think they want to face him twice a year and have him be in the division? Let's be real about it. You guys, if anybody who thinks that this is
that's a
first round draft pick,
right?
You think this is one first round draft pick for the Panthers? You were out of your fucking mind. If you think
it's almost just kind of out of our mind to think that the Saints would even be interested in
willing
making
to
it
trade it
happen
all, yeah.
with Carolina. Like they would just make it too expensive to make it work. Like, I mean, because if it's just a first. But here, let's go to Anthony's next call real